you hear me? Okay, well, first of all, thank you so much for gathering in so great numbers for Dr. Ahmed Sabra. Obviously, we're gathered here in love, in peace, in respect and in name of freedom to get him back as soon as possible to his home. I want to say a few words about what I've been doing and what's happening out there as the MP, but then to read out a statement that he's prepared for me to read to you today, but then give you a brief update that you've already had a sense of already. I mean, what I would say is that Gaza is a place which is the same geographical size as the city and county of Swansea, with 9 times as many people in it, who are being crammed into half of it. So it's 2.3 million people being pushed in by a bombing campaign. And we're standing outside Morriston Hospital, where you all serve our communities. And at this moment, we know that the Al-E Baptist Hospital, which is supported by the Anglican Church, is being bombed to the ground with people inside trying to look after the suffering and indeed civilians, with the energy cut off and the supplies cut. And this cannot be right, and we cannot stand here and say this can be right, because it isn't. The truth is that in the last month, since October the 7th, and I've been in regular contact, as have others, with Dr. Sabra, pushing through his message to the Foreign Office. In the last month, 25,000 tons of bombs have dropped on Gaza. That's equivalent to 2 atom bombs. That's equivalent to 11 kilos of bombs for every person in Gaza. It is just horrific, and the idea that we should bomb, or anybody should not, that bombs should be bombed on civilians on the pretext that they're attacking the Hamas, who are underneath the ground in tunnels, is completely intolerable and makes no sense. So we're seeing a systematic massacre in front of us. We've seen more civilians die in the last month in Gaza than in the Ukraine war since February of last year. And we all accept, obviously, that there was terrorist atrocity committed against Israel. But of course, some of us may remember when the IRA blew up Margaret Thatcher in Brighton, and no one was suggesting we should bomb Belfast then. There is a legitimate targets and people who should be brought to justice for terrorist atrocities, but they do not include civilians. I'm very glad that President Macron has been the first Western leader to take a lead, to demand and ask for a ceasefire, and I hope very much that others will follow suit. Turning to Dr. Sabra, who, as I say, I've been in regular contact with, and I was in contact with him today and yesterday, etc., and every day. The situation, as has been mentioned, is that he was with his 3 children and his wife a couple of days before the terrorist attack on Israel. He had to navigate his way from the north to the south. He was near the hospital that's now being bombed, and obviously it has been bombed once before. He had to flee a number of homes which are razed to the ground. He's seen and smelt death wherever he goes. His limbs and flesh and all the rest of it. It's very difficult for any of us to imagine the horror of what he's done. And he managed, and every day I was thinking, obviously he was under the pressure, not me, and every day I was praying that he wouldn't be killed and thinking he may well be killed. He made it across the Rafah crossing, and of course everyone was full of joy that that should happen. He was in connection with the British embassy. He's in on Egyptian soil. Surely he is now safe. But no, we're told that he, his wife and his 3 children are on the list to go back to Cairo, to go back to the UK, and he must go back on a bus through the gates of hell, to the hellfire of Gaza. I was doing everything I could to pressurise directly by WhatsApp the minister responsible, Dr. Ahmed, sending messages, of course, the Foreign Secretary to number 10, so we must take action. The Egyptians, to be fair, held the bus at the gate until the gate went down that evening. So they said, right, the Brits have got a night before the gate goes up to negotiate at a high level to get Dr. Sabra to safety. The Americans moved in, the Americans got their people out. Where there was mixed families, some people on list was agreed ultimately by Tel Aviv, and of course we're not moving between Israel and somewhere, we're going from Gaza to Egypt. We didn't have the authority to stop that, so he's sent back on a bus, put into Gaza with a mobile phone with 5% charge and very little data, with nowhere to go. There was an image of him, which I set up actually from the BBC from Jerusalem, came and showed him with an image with another colleague, put onto a cart with a donkey going off into the distance. I mean, what sort of place do we live in? Has Britain become if we can't defend our own British nationals once we've got them in our hands coming out of a war zone? So that's the situation. I'm now going to... Dr. Sabra has been enormously moved by your love and care for him. You hear beyond him. He has written a statement that I'm now going to read to you today to reflect his thoughts as we gather in his name. Thank you. I love my family. I love my job. I love my friends and colleagues, and I love my country. I always worked hard and strived to provide the best for my patients. I did not see this as a statutory duty of care, but for somebody who is suffering and needed me. I wanted always to do all I can to relieve their suffering. It was difficult seeing my patients suffering, and I tried with them. And